And then you made this post that I saw on Instagram back in October that said almost every day you think about quitting, but then you realize that thought was not from you. It came from people around you. Like, how do you handle
Yes.
those mental battles as an MMA fighter?
Uh, I don't handle them well, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I've searched for some help within the past 2 years. I've worked with some sports mental therapists.
Mm.
And the one guy I really enjoyed, he's out of the UK. So he really helped me with, how to cope with everything that comes to, competition, the anxiety, dealing with the outside pressure and things like that. So I've really taken a lot of the tools he's given me to help deal with the pressure from everybody else.
It's summer, which means you're going to be outside having fun, and you need cool, comfy t-shirts that represent who you are. Head over to Inspired Tees Company at My Shopify, and you'll find the perfect inspirational Christian tees for you. Inspired Tees also has unique jewelry, coffee mugs, pharmacy cosmetics and skincare, and more. Everything you and your family need for an amazing summer at Inspired Tees Company. Shop online right now at inspiredteesco.myshopify.com.
Lateesha, you're an MMA fighter, kickboxer. You've done some modeling. You've done tons of other stuff. Thank you so much for taking time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I like to go back to the beginning with my shows and with my guests. Like, where did you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
So I grew up in a really small town. It's actually called Cleona in Pennsylvania. Not many people know where it is. They
Okay.
usually just drive through it and assume it's part of another county.
Okay.
But I mean, I have no complaints, honestly, growing up. I grew up with great parents. I
Nice.
have an older sister and a younger brother. Um, every, child has their own internal struggles and things like that. But
Sure.
for the most part, I would say like I've really been truly blessed with like a really good family and a good childhood.
That's awesome. I saw your dad's like a huge Steelers super fan.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That's awesome. What was it about MMA that kind of drew you towards the sport and ultimately decided to kind of step in the cage?
Honestly, I only started training when I was like 19 years old. I didn't have any prior experience. I
Okay.
played softball for about 13 years. I had a scholarship to play at Penn State.
Nice.
And I turned that down because I was just kind of over it. I played my whole life.
Sure.
So I saw there was a boxing gym. My first gym was in York, and I was like, oh, that would probably, keep me in shape. My main goal was just to stay in shape and, have something to do.
Yeah.
So, I trained for a couple months. I really liked it. I caught on really fast. And then next thing you know, they were like on a week's notice. They were like, hey, do you want to try an MMA fight? And I was like, what's MMA?
Sure.
I had no idea. So,
Okay.
we looked up the rules and I took it and I just, just kind of got thrown in there. And then ever since then, it's just something I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. And then you made this post that I saw on Instagram back in October that said almost every day you think about quitting, but then you realize that thought was not from you. It came from people around you. Like, how do you handle
Yes.
those mental battles as an MMA fighter?
I don't handle them well, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've searched for some help within the past 2 years. I've worked with some sports mental therapists.
Mm.
And the one guy I really enjoyed, he's out of the UK. So he really helped me with, how to cope with everything that comes to, competition, the anxiety, dealing with the outside pressure and things like that. So I've really taken a lot of the tools he's given me to help deal with the pressure from everybody else.
Yeah, I love that. I have two podcasts. My other podcast, I talk with entrepreneurs and success-minded people and world changers is what I call it. And a lot of them talk about that mental health side of stuff and really just staying strong in that area. That's huge. And I love that you were, open to posting that because I think that's so real. Not many people talk about that. And that's what I love having fighters on my show to talk about, like those real struggles. With your with your family and your friends, when you told them that you wanted to start fighting MMA, what was their reaction?
My parents loved it. They thought
Okay.
they thought it was kind of crazy, but I mean,
Yeah.
they've been to every single fight I've had. I don't think they've missed one. My uncle loves it. Him and his wife are at all of my fights as well. So, I mean, you always have some people that don't understand it or they don't get it, but for the most part, everyone's been pretty supportive.
Okay. Sweet. And then after a fight, win or lose, what's that process like for you? Do you like to get back in the cage or get back in the gym? Do you take a break or review the tape?
I really try to take like a week off,
Okay.
but I know a lot of fighters, it's hard for us to rest for that long.
Sure.
So I usually end up back in the gym like 2 or 3 days later. I'll
Okay.
start light, just kind of just take it easy. I do try to rewatch some of my fight or most of my fights. I've rewatched all of them. So it's just about, going back and seeing, mistakes I've made, where I can improve. But a lot of that feedback I get from my corners anyway.
Right. Yeah. Are you able to zone out your corner when you're in the cage, or I mean, zone out the crowd and kind of listen to your corner, or do you kind of go in there with a game plan and hope to kind of stick to it?
That's one of the things that I seem to like catch on to really quick. A lot of people say they have trouble hearing their corners. There's just so much going on. They just can't single it out. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm like lost if I don't hear my corner talking. They're all
Okay.
I hear the whole time. I need them to tell me like everything I need to do every step of the way. So that I don't know how or why, but it's something that I've just gotten really good at. So I don't really have trouble listening to my corner at all.
Oh, awesome. In fact,
Yeah.
I mean, as I was doing more research on you, you were in a fight and you broke your collarbone in the first round, went into the second round and you
Yeah.
got this cool scar from it. I mean, crazy. You're such a warrior, by the way. But like,
Thank you.
how much time did that take you outside of training? And then how tough was it mentally to get back into that gym after that?
Yeah, that was crazy. That's actually the last time I fought. So I haven't
Okay.
fought since then.
Okay.
The recovery actually wasn't terrible. I ended up having surgery because it was so bad. I actually shattered it. So
Wow.
there were just pieces. It just like exploded in my chest. So
Gosh.
the recovery that happened at end of September. I was cleared by mid-December
Okay.
to actually fight. So I started training again probably 2 months later, and I was so excited to get back to training. I had no I was not even like self-conscious about like putting weight on it or anything. I was ready to go. Like I took, I don't baby it at all.
Yeah.
So it feels fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome. I believe action is the foundation of success. With strategic action, your vision can become a thriving reality. However, in today's modern age, you will need world-class digital infrastructure designed around the goal of your business. At Vision Thrive, we specialize in creating websites, e-commerce sites, and mobile apps for your business. When you work with us, we have a no questions asked refund policy, so you're guaranteed to like what you see. If you're interested, please visit visionthrive.com. That's VISIONTHRIVE.com. Look, this is perfect for every entrepreneur and MMA fighter out there. Again, take a look at visionthrive.com. And one of the things I got connected with you is I had the guys from MMA Tee Company on my show. They mentioned you. I think you were like one of their first, or maybe even the first sponsored fighter they worked with. What's been your experience of
Yes.
working with those guys? And I mean, you also have new merchandise up, which is really, really slick looking. People need to go check that out.
Thank
But
you.
what's been your experience working with those guys?
Yeah, I was actually the first person they signed.
Okay.
One of the owners, his name's John Brennan. He is actually my training partner at my gym.
Oh, nice.
So he
Okay.
kind of came to me when they started the idea, asked if, basically I'm going to be the first one. It's either going to go really well or it's not going to go well at all. But I was all for it. I was super excited. I was like, throw me on there. So my experience with them has been outstanding. I mean, one of the best people I've worked with a couple different people for shirts, by far, hands down, the best people I've ever worked with for merchandise. And it's really cool because they actually truly care about us as fighters.
Totally.
They're not looking, they have bigger names on there, of course, but they're not looking for people that are, huge names with awesome records. They just want to support the local fighters that are coming up. So I 100% love them so much.
Yeah. You had mentioned too that you're going to try to go pro this year, later in the fall, maybe. Definitely look for some potential sponsors there. But do you have a place in mind, like where you want to make your pro debut at?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm definitely trying to go make the pro debut in boxing, which is why I'm doing all these boxing matches.
Gotcha.
As far as where I make it, wherever the wind takes me at this point. My boxing coach does have some connections in Philly with some promoters. I think that would be a great debut. It's close to home. Philly's a big boxing crowd. So,
yeah.
But honestly, at this point, wherever I can go to make it happen, I'm willing to go.
Gotcha. Now, is that going to be your focus moving forward? Are you going to be kind of on the boxing side of things versus MMA, or will you go back and forth?
I'd like to go back and forth eventually. I
Okay.
think I need the foundation of boxing, and even I'm like open to kickboxing because I'm undefeated in kickboxing, and that's probably one of my favorite martial arts to train
Nice.
in.
Yeah.
So I'm open to switching between all of them, wherever I can get the experience.
Okay. Very cool. I wanted to shift to some fun questions here. I've got these things called pod decks. These are just random questions here. We'll
All
pull one
right,
out here and see how it goes. Hopefully it's not a flop here.
cool.
This this says, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, one food. That's tough. I would have to say, oh, that's hard. I would have to say pancakes, probably.
For sure.
I love pancakes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'd probably go that route as well. Always interesting question to ask. Like, what's the toughest thing about being a fighter?
I mean, definitely the mental side of it. A lot of people struggle with the idea of like, having to work out every day and having to be on a strict workout schedule and this and that. Like, to me, that's fun to me. I love training. I love putting the work in.
Yeah.
It's really mental. And this is just me. Everyone's different. Some people struggle with like the weight cuts, and trust me, I agree, that sucks. But I mean, everyone's different. I love the training aspect of it. I love being, in physically good shape. So for me, it's the mental side that I struggle with, definitely.
Nice. I'm a music guy, so I've asked the question, like, what's a favorite band for you, or do you have a favorite type of music that you like to listen to?
I'm kind of all over the place with my music, honestly. I don't listen to a lot of newer things. I'm kind of set in my ways of older music. I don't like how a lot of the bands I used to listen to have evolved until today.
Sure.
I'd say my current like favorite, I use them for like my walkout music, is NF.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Yeah. His music's fantastic for working out, for motivation. So he's like my go-to right now.
I'm the same. I just got introduced to NF like probably 4 months ago and been jamming to that dude forever since. And, I play him in my truck with my car, or I mean, with my kids and things like that. And they love it. It's like my daughter who's 11. She's like, I love that guy. Put on NF, so it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's cool because he's a Christian rapper, so he doesn't swear in his music, but it's still just as intense as, the other rap music you would listen to today. So
yeah, I forget what the new song is, but the brand new video that he released, The Story, I think, on YouTube.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That video was so intense when I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
that was a good one.
I also wanted to give you an opportunity, Lateesha, to just give a shout out to coaches, teammates, sponsors, anything like that. The camera's all yours.
Oh yeah. Let me think, because I got a lot. Definitely my sponsors, MMA Tee Co, of course, for providing all of my merchandise. Kentucky Hemp Works for providing me with CBD oil for my recovery. My gyms, Gracie 717, where they house my jiu-jitsu training and my kickboxing. My training partners, Christian Carr, Jeff Patoka, Allison Ferrari, and then I also have my boxing girls, Christine Williams and Sarah Cruz. They're going to be going down with me this weekend to that tournament as well.
Nice.
My boxing coaches, Claudie and Q, and Capital Punishment Boxing Club for welcoming me into the gym for my boxing camp.
Sweet. Awesome. Lateesha, it's such an honor to have you on my show. Thank you for taking time out of your day to jump on and share your story. I love it. It's truly an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great meeting you and speaking with you.
Thank you so much for watching the show today. I appreciate it. If you could, please leave a rating and review on our Apple podcast. The link is down below. That helps us get our message out, get the show out, helps us get ranked out there on the Apple podcast. Also, leave a comment below, man. I'd love to know what part of this show made the most impact on you. I respond to every comment on there. And please share this video, whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please share it out. We want to make sure that we impact as many people as we can with the guests that come on my show and highlight those guests and what they've got going on, and they're changing the world. So thank you so much for the time. So appreciate it. Have an awesome day.